What's up, friends and fam? Welcome back to another video. So now I'm gonna go ahead and start off real fast because I only have 25 seconds to tell you guys about it. This is my usual team. I'm gonna swap it out. We're gonna try something new out. It's very likely that this goes poorly, as the grades on some of these other guys aren't great. I mean, I guess technically this would work, but we're shooting. How much do I have? 6 seconds. Let's give this a try. So this might not work, it might work. If it doesn't work, I'll be able to swap out and try out the other team. Wow, that's a lot of damage. Okay, so let's talk about it real fast. Other than the fact that my Yotohime almost just killed my Otengu. So this is going to be somewhat optimal, but you're going to want... Alright, if we're talking about how to get the most damage in these world boss fights, basically, here's what you're going to want. You're going to want double DPS, graded up, I mean, preferably grade 5 would probably be best, but I'm sure maybe grade 4 will work. We're about to find out if grade 4 will work right here or not. If I die, it's going to be because, did that just heal me to almost full? So if this doesn't work, it's going to be because my... Ebisu isn't sold or graded high enough. So let's go over it real fast together. I have Ushi, Yotohime, Ebisu, Shuten, and Otengu. Now Shuten is only grade 5. I haven't G6'd him yet, so the damage once I get him to G6 is going to be much higher, and it's extremely exciting to think that he's going to be dealing so much more DPS. Let's talk about real fast why this is going to be the optimal setup, with the exception that Yotohime would be a second AoE DPS. So the way Ushi works is she sets down this doll, and when you hit the doll, you deal an increased amount of damage to the enemies attached to. So when you have an AoE DPS, so when Otengu uses his move, he hits both the doll and the boss, so he's getting 2 attacks in. So you're gonna, if you have double AoE DPS plus Ushi, you're gonna be getting a shit ton more attacks in than you generally would be if you have this current setup right now. Let me go ahead and let these guys know real fast. Let's see, Gyu, what's he saying? The number of paper dolls, the number. So when it comes to this stage, you guys just hop onto onmyoji.wiki.com. There's a section called gashadoku/messages. Type in your message and it should tell you whether it's true or not, and then just let the people know. So Gyu is false. Kind of hop into this chat real fast and just boom. Looks like key is right though, so we're gonna hit key. While I'm here, I'll go back to talking about optimal teams in a second. While I'm here, let's talk about this real fast. So the reason people say turn off your AoE DPS is because it does this like weird enraging like mechanism to the boss. Although I don't think it's that big of a deal. Some of the lower players might die. But the reason I turn off my DPS is because when you hit the wrong enemies, it gives you negative damage. So at the end, when they check your total DPS, hitting the wrong target subtracts that damage from your overall damage, and that's your score at the end. That being said, let's just continue talking about the team real fast. So when you have 2 AoE DPS plus Shuten, you're gonna have overall higher output. Reason being, as we mentioned earlier, you're gonna get double hits both on the boss and the doll. But then also because Shuten doesn't require souls to deal damage, and Ebisu also doesn't require souls to heal. That's where your extra damage is coming in from. So generally speaking, most healers need souls, same with DPS. But when you bring in these 2 guys, they're really going to give you the boost that's going to hopefully get you to the top tier damage ranks. Now this does work for almost all bosses. Well, let's just stick to Kirin, guild defense and world boss. I wouldn't recommend using this for secrets because generally speaking in secrets you're going to want to focus more so on kind of the secrets has weird stuff going on in them. You're just going to have to adapt per what the secret is kind of like asking you to set up as well. Also, I want to mention that you don't actually need high damage dealt in this mode. The score at the end isn't based off your personal damage. I think it's based off your team speed in clearing the boss itself. Generally, when we get a S or higher in clear time, I usually end up with better results, and I mean better rewards. What was the other person I'm supposed to be killing? Oh, Hecky and Key. But yeah, I think I kind of tried to go over everything while I was playing. It was a little hard to do both. So I figured while we were on the topic of bosses and I spoke about Kirin, why not go ahead and touch up on totem zones and totem bosses as well. I'm gonna show you guys real fast the team that I use for my totem boss fight duel thing arenas. Just a pretty typical team. Double DPS, Otengu, Yoto, Maki, Zash, and Hana. And, generally don't run into any problems with this team. This is generally my actual usual team for Kirin as well. I don't use the team you saw in the previous section. That's still pretty makeshift. I'm working on getting it there. I'm going to try and see if I can G6 another Otengu so I can have dual Otengus shooting. My Ibisu needs a lot more work as well, so not the prettiest thing. This, on the other hand, this is what I like to see. But this team works really well. It does work for other bosses as well. Definitely going to get you through a lot of the PvE content that you're going to run into that doesn't require an Excel. Now, I could be running this without Maki. I could easily put Ushi in instead of Maki. I could put generally anything in instead of Maki, but I have her in here for just kind of like a little bit more heals in a sense. Because I typically run these while doing other things, I never really pay much attention to how long it takes, but you could easily change this team around as well. PvE is a lot of fun in this game. This game in general is a lot of fun, but it lets you pick what you want. You know, there's tons of options you can do when it comes to boss fighting, and it's just such a fucking blast. Jesus. But you could easily switch Ushi in for Maki. You could easily switch Ibisu in, try and run the same kind of team, double DPS, Ushi shooting. I mean, that would just destroy this boss. After this, we're going to hop into Suwagagabi? I don't know. The three-face dudes. We're going to go mess with them a little bit. So I'll let this run and then catch you on the flip side. Cool. I'll take it. Cool. So let's jump into Sugen. Okay, I got this. Yeah, okay, cool. Sugenbi. All right, let's jump into Sugenbi. Say it like I didn't just try and spell it out like a 4-year-old. Generally using the same team. Also tons of variations you can do with this. I only have Maki here so that they don't go first on the first and second stage because it's a bit of a drag. A single Excel wasn't enough. They were still able to cut in before my DPS or lived or something annoying. But you can swap in like anything really. You can put in Shuzo for your Maki. You can put in, I mean, Ibisu if you want to swap out Zash. Maybe you could run Excel without an Excel, but I generally don't. I think this is just the fastest way to set it up and the easiest way because it gets me through these pretty quick, and trying to get these done as fast as possible is definitely something I enjoy. Now I know you could easily run this with a single DPS as long as that single DPS is AoE. I used to, before I had my Otengu set up, I only had Yotohime, and running this with just Yoto was kind of painful because it took me like 8 minutes per run or 5 minutes per run, which is such a drag. You can also use Shuzo if you don't want to use Maki, but then you would need heals. Only reason I have Maki in is because she works as both an Excel and as heals. And the heals aren't anything insane, but they're enough to keep my team from dying. Generally speaking, the dudes with a bunch of faces die before my team does. Yeah, let me know what you guys are using for your teams down below. If you actually record any of the stuff that you think is cool, feel free to drop it onto Google Drive. We can go over it. I think that'd be pretty cool to see what you guys' teams are doing and what the clear is looking like as well. Regardless though, I think that covers everything I wanted to talk about today. Be sure to tune in soon for the next video where we're gonna talk about some awesome, cool ways to spend your jade. And how to get more jade, which I'm not very good at, but still. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Have a great day, and I'll see you in game.